The vast distance our invasion has advanced into Russia has severely stretched our supply lines, and the Soviet scorched earth policy has only worsened the situation. Therefore, your mission is to siege and then directly occupy Leningrad as quickly as possible. You'll need to force the surrender of all Soviet troops remaining within the city through force of arms. Expect major resistance from multiple, well-entrenched infantry forces throughout the urban cityscape. To accomplish this properly, you'll first need to cut Leningrad off. From Lake Ilmen in the south to Lake Ladoga in the north. Securing Novgorod is of special importance, as it will cut primary communication lines to Moscow. Additionally, you will need to secure positions on the Luga River here and here, so that an effective siege line can be laid down. You have your orders. Carry them out.
Alright, welcome back once again. It's time for Panzer Corps 2, as it has been for the previous month. Alright, let's leave all that complaining behind us once again. One episode of complaining every now and then is more than enough. So we get this guy with Avenger, attack bonus for each point of lost strength. I guess we're gonna have to put that on a Pioneer, but oh yeah, these guys have a River Assault. Anyway, all my guys are getting elites here. Yeah, there we are. Dicker Mux only has 20 points max, so we have to be careful. And you. Alright, sure. There we are. We do again have a few slots. I don't have any units in reserve at the moment. So there are a few upgrades that I want to make here again, now that we're in the second mission. Let's start with another BF-109 and upgrade it to the F version. I want to upgrade one of the recons to the SDKZ-232 in order to get it all-terrain, because that's a lot better. And let's see, I might actually again do something about one of the tanks, because Panzer IV-D by this stage is pretty old. So let's see. I would also have to change that to the Panzer IIIF. That's a difference of only 40 though. And again, I'm definitely looking to make the most impactful upgrades. These are all 15, but there's just not a whole lot else that I would upgrade here. Like these guys can be upgraded to the 87R, but that's even worse of an upgrade, I suppose. Again, I think the biggest upgrade is probably on the recon. And the Panzer IIIF. How big is the upgrade to the Panzer IIIH? That's also 30 only. Any other units that I could purchase? Like purchasing a KV would not be bad. I don't even remember whether I have full 10 for that. Only 7, huh? So I would need more of that KV to be captured. Let's just upgrade the other recon as well. That also means I don't have to purchase any additional units. Okay, so let's deploy air forces. We have a few areas. I guess I'm gonna deploy most of the fighters down here. Now, I think that what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divide my forces into 3 groups. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send... I need to explore what's here, so... actually, it's probably best to do it like that, because that immediately gives me a vision of 4 and makes it a bit easier. So, I want to check out this immediate area to see what we can do there. If possible, I'd like to go to Demyansk, but yeah, not 100% necessary, of course. Either way, my first push will be towards Novgorod and to take Luga and Kingisepp. And to be fair, I'll probably take Chudovo as well, but then I will try to take Leningrad before going up to Volkov, because the terrain is absolutely terrible. I might send a dispatch towards Tikhvin and then go to Volkov as well. But because Leningrad is a supply hex, and there are no Finnish forces in here for whatever reason, even though I think it probably made more sense if there were blocking supply. Like, the way they could have designed this mission, and I personally think would have been better to design it this way, if they would put Finnish forces in here, so the forces in Leningrad cannot trace back supply through here. Then make a port in here, so that if you take that port, they cannot trace back supply over Lake Ladoga. Then not make this a supply point, and just allow Leningrad to be cut off. Like, I think that would make a lot more sense than to just allow Leningrad to be in full supply, whether they are cut off or not. Like, I think that the possibilities that this game has, or at least the possibilities that the choices in this game give, like with supply and encirclement, etc., would have allowed them to make a pretty good scenario out of this in the way that I described. That you can cut off Leningrad and then assault it. You know, just like they would have had historically. They could have made sure that they wouldn't get any supplies, like they did by cutting them off. Although they didn't get all the way to well, they did get quite far, like to Tikhvin and such, but to cut them off and make sure that they don't get supplies anymore. They could have done that like they did historically, but instead they chose to always keep them in supply through the Baltic or whatever. I don't know, it's just a bit silly to me. So that's a shame. I think they could have done a much better job here, but they didn't. Of course, I told myself I wasn't going to complain anymore, but look, I just think it's a shame that they didn't choose to improve on their game. It's just, I think they could have done a better job here. And it's a shame they didn't. As for Luga itself, it's probably tough to take. So this is all open terrain. So it's probably best. Like, I need to split up my forces into 3 groups, I think. Oh, yeah, this game switches in such a weird way all the time. Like, why does it go to artillery after selecting one of... I don't know. Let's forget it. Let's put Panzer 3F here. And the Panzer 4F as well, together with the anti-tank. An artillery, one of the Pioneers as well. And then of course we have the bombers and such, and these guys can do absolutely nothing on this mission because they can't go through the fog. There is an actual airfield here, so these guys will only become useful the moment that I take Novgorod. Because apparently these are all dirt airfields, so... Yeah, it's a shame I can't use these right now. I might actually just put them in reserve, like... Because they're not useful, like I can't use them at all, because this is all invisible. Let's move those to the reserve. Definitely getting an anti-aircraft. I'm gonna put the mobile anti-aircraft here because the other places where I'm gonna put units are gonna be much more static, and these guys are gonna move around a lot more. Alright, I'll also put a infantry in here, and infantry is bad at defending in close terrain, but good at attacking close terrain. Or I keep getting confused. They changed the rules, and the close terrain rules are very vague. In close terrain, infantry units and other units with close combat shoot against the opponent's close defense rating, which is usually much lower than ground defense. So they're good at defending forests. If they're in close terrain, they defend the forest. They are in close terrain, so they shoot against the opponent's close defense rating, but they use their own ground defense. Right. Right. Oh. Wait. Oh, there. So having infantry in close terrain itself is still good. Are fortifications close terrain? Fortifications are not close terrain. They're not. Yeah, exactly. So they use regular defense in there, which makes it really tough to break that. Like, they might be better off just trying to encircle Luga, because otherwise I'm just never gonna break through, it seems like. Unless I can use the Flampanzer, but they also have 0 close defense, and these forests are all close terrain. The only thing that I can think of that possibly might work is something like this, but the problem is that the Flampanzer, they can't operate here. It's close terrain. Actually, what I need to do is grab this pioneer and hey. Alright, yeah, regular infantry can at least defend in this terrain, so that should be okay, I think. Might take a bit of damage, but that's fine. And these guys with the river assault might have a reasonable time breaking whatever they might have at Kingisepp, although I think one of the problems that we might face there is that if they have armor coming from here into that region, I might be in trouble, because I don't really have AT in this area. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna buy one of those 5cm anti-tank units. Let's see, because this is a lot worse in terms of ammo and in initiative. Yeah, I can get that. And then I'll just get these trucks with half tracks, which is better than, I think, this one, even if it's only 6 movement. Their movement table is just so much better than the wheeled one that I think that justifies this. And since I'm not really impressed by the Panzerjäger there, I'm gonna go for the better stats. Like 2 extra heart attack means 10% additional chance of dealing damage with each roll. Yeah, these guys have more ground defense. Actually, that might be important. But their lowered initiative is just... I think it's 20% less damage. Which is a lot, though. You know what? Let's go for this Panzerjäger, sure. Now, the actual thing that I would want to try out is whether this Panzerjäger can actually be supported by a 10.5 millimeter artillery. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this 15 centimeter in the reserve. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to purchase a 10.5 millimeter artillery with this. And I'm going to place that over here. So I know that this is a 10.5. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Panzerjäger, and I want to see whether this artillery, or yeah, exactly, if it can actually protect the Panzerjäger, because this artillery provide support fire to adjacent friendly units attacked by enemies unarmored units. It does not have the anti-tank trait like the 15 centimeter. So I want to know whether this actually supports the Panzerjäger. If this supports the Panzerjäger, then having a combination of 10.5 centimeter artillery in conjunction with the Panzerjäger and a tank and or infantry in a triangle formation might actually be better than a 15 centimeter artillery. But it remains to be seen whether that's the case. I want to test that out. And it will suck if it doesn't work like that, and I'm probably going to take a bit more damage. But the good thing is that, well, it's not really like the good thing, but the northern branch will end for me after Leningrad. So it doesn't matter if I lose a bit of prestige here. The reason for it is that both Leningrad and Kiev North, so the center path, leads you to Gates of Moscow. And because from Gates of Moscow, I want to continue to the Moscow scenario, there's only one Moscow scenario, so I have only one playthrough that can continue, basically out of all three now. I want to have the one with the Karlsruhe to be used in later missions, so that's the reason why they can't go through. Anyway, I'm gonna put the Flampanzer down here. I have anti-air there, and I'll put the Flakvierling here, and one here. Now, again, you don't want the Stug in close terrain, but only in open terrain, so I'm gonna put the Stug actually over here as well. Alright, that should... I do have a few more core slots. I would possibly... Don't really want to buy anti-air. But I actually think that a dedicated anti-infantry artillery might be useful in this mission. So I'm going to purchase that, and I'm also going to place those in the center. And then I'm going to switch up these, and... Why are you doing this, game? Alright, there we go. That would actually mean that I need another unit in here. Though, technically, I don't see them leaving that quickly, but if they do, I'm in serious trouble there now, so that's maybe not the best placement. I would kind of have to do it like that, and then these guys would have to... I don't think they can, because forced is... Oh no, they can. They can move here and then here. So I actually need to switch up these two artillery pieces. Not that it matters a crazy amount, because they can't get more than 7 suppression anyway, but I think this is fine. Some of your heroes are not assigned. Oh yeah, I need to put this Avenger hero on them. Okay. Let's get started. So I'm just gonna take this here damage as well. And attack here. So they should then get a bonus, which is currently +4 attack. And these are weakened enough, I don't think they can even move on this turn anymore. They also have artillery there, huh? Okay. That I can move these forward a bit. Now, they're very likely to have anti-aircraft in there. But what I am gonna do is, this is close terrain, so I want to move into this hex and then attack them. Even though also I have only 1 suppression on them. What if I bomb them as well? That might help. Kind of have to again take that damage for a bit. Now, this is where I at the very least want to have a combination of anti-tank. Alright, first of all, let's move you in here. And I think get an overrun, but it doesn't matter. Then this is where it would get interesting. So move you in here, these guys in here, and the artillery up here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the good thing about this is that they have to relocate. So what I can do now is I can now rebase the aircraft and still attack them. And I'll get a better bonus. And they'll get a huge penalty for being so far away. Exactly. But then the question is whether I want to... No, I don't think I want to replace other fighters. Let's just attack. Okay, I might actually want to pull the recon back. At the very least, over here, I think. These guys are still vulnerable, but yeah, that sucks. Nothing can be done, though. Okay. For you... Oh, no, I want to split them. Oh, I can't, of course, yeah. Right, so... I do have a tank on that side. But I'll start with getting the flump here. And I'll just bomb them as well. One, two, three, 4. Without rain, pretty much, well, almost anything has just movement of 1, so they can move a whole lot more, and it makes them a lot more useful, I think. than they used to be. You'll get placed over there. And then what I want to do is, in order to lure these guys out, put in the Panzer 3F within sight. And then basically the Dicker Max not. So they can see this and that's all beautiful, but then they'll get attacked by the Dicker Max first, which is supposedly going to cause massive casualties on them. I guess same applies for the Panzer 4F, so that's also fine. As long as they don't have an armored attack coming from Novgorod, that's a good idea, a good strategy. So 1, 2, 3, they could technically attack from that side, so this is why I'm blocking them, because they will be blocked here and here. And although you need to be pushed back. Right. Let's just do it. Oh, this is the Stuck. That was not intentional. I thought it was a Panzer 3, but because they look almost identical from this distance. Now, if I would have been able to play on a higher graphic setting, then maybe I would have seen a difference, but the problem is that this game eats such a gargantuan chunk of my CPU, I can't do anything. And it does eat a massive chunk. I don't really know why that is. Like my PC is pretty decent, but yeah. They still do that. Alright. There we go. They rebase. And why are you attacking the anti-tank or the anti-aircraft gun? It's a bit weird. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. The only place that was vulnerable. Huh, they went out, huh? That is interesting. I mean, this thing is taking massive damage because of that, but I knew that already, so it's fine. Oh, okay. Wow. Some hefty damage on my anti-tank as well. Wonder how it performs here. So, never mind the second one, but let's check that first one. It's a fresh unit, the 35R, so... Defender's effective initiative is only 9. I thought they had 10 initiative. Is it mass attack? Oh yeah, alright. So... I attack first, of course. 70% chance against a BT. And they still have a 35% chance as well. So... they got pretty damn lucky. So they're supposed to deal like 2 damage. I keep saying that a lot though. They got lucky. But yeah, this of course, this protecting only works of course if infantry attacks them. And yeah. Anyway, that went fine. So I should... Huh? Oh yeah, they took it back. I was a bit confused there. Alright. Fine, fine. Whoa. That is expensive. Holy moly. Like I said, it's a good thing that... it's a 2-range artillery, so... yeah, it's a good thing that we don't have to continue with this campaign, or this northern campaign. I think we won't have enough prestige, so to say. Probably. finish off the fighter. And of course I can't go through here. So let's just do this so that you can go through and I guess at least attack this. Alright, that's finished off. Great. I expect the enemy to have more, but right, one of the problems is that dealing with the T-38, which is probably absurdly strong for such a weak unit, like anything in this game. Like I know that they are protected by an anti-tank. Sure, but because the numbers are so off in this game, you get really skewed. Attack and defense. Let's attack here first because I want to. Come on. I wanted to get an overrun with these guys, but that's not gonna happen this way. That sucks. Alright, well. Can we please just go and finish this off? Thank you. Alright. I'm gonna have to bomb this, because otherwise there's no way I'm gonna even be able to make a small dent in that. Yeah, let's go in here, attack. And basically 1, 2, 3. Infantry is not really such a problem. The one thing that's clear though is that these guys need to go in here and attack the Petliakov. Just pretty much out of commission now. Alright, let's move him back this way. I would repair the Panzerjäger on the next turn for sure. Maybe I could have surrounded them. I need to really get into the flow of surrounding enemy units as well. In order to even get rid of that, I need to... go in here, you here. Shall these two... I think they can't retreat. So any attack is a surrender. Or not. Okay. Well... That might have been a really bad idea. Alright, I'm just putting this right next to it because I just literally have no other way to deal with it. Yeah, defending the city should be easier than anything else, because I need these guys up there as well to attack. That doesn't protect the Dickermachs, but at least if they don't move. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, you have 4 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, they still have anti-tank. They have 14 defense. They have 7 hard attack. That's 35. So they should have only a 5% chance of dealing damage against the Panzer IIIF. So that's on average 1 damage. So that should, in theory, be okay. But yeah, I wouldn't rely on that necessarily. Let's actually do it like this. Okay. That's a really poor attack on my part though, but at least I didn't take too much damage. Okay. That's very serious attack. Wow. Okay. So T-28, right? Yeah. Okay, that was ultimately not too bad. My units get +7 attack now. So ultimately this unit will be able to attack everything for 100. Anyway. Okay, I should be able to get a fighter there as well. Alright. The one thing that's unfortunate about this being such a crazy attack is that I can't really surround them, although I guess such a thing would give me quite a bit of experience. Let's attack that first. Destroying that is easy. But the thing that is probably, yeah, it's a shame that they have so much entrenchment, or they got encircled like that. Especially because they also have quite a bit of infantry. And that does complicate things a bit. They're gonna attack regardless. Let's see if this actually gets an overrun. Yes, it does. The good thing about that is that I can put the bomber onto something else. But that's all wasted now. Alright. I really do still feel that the rolls are more crazy than they used to be in Panzer Corps though. Like the differences are so huge now. Like 0 and 3 becomes like doing nothing. And I think that's actually pretty crazy. Like it's fairly obvious, but I don't know, it's just that the swings seem so much bigger than they used to be. Like to go from 0 and 3 to absolutely nothing, you wouldn't see it very often in regular Panzer Corps. I don't know, it's just weird. I will attack these guys though. And well, obviously I'm gonna retreat. The question is how many hexes. I think just 2 will do. And then I need to put these over here. Tanks in here. This is 1, 2.5. Oh no, don't tell me they can attack there. Well, let's do this then. One, 2. It's still 5 technically, so they could attack. But if I move you in here, that even a 6 strength unit like that should not be such a big deal. Okay, so if yeah, I think this should work. This is fine. All right. I had to retreat for a bit. We'll see what those KV tanks do. If they are gonna continue moving into the sector, that's actually fine. Now, I'm gonna need to repair them eventually. But maybe at this point just attacking that and just giving these elite replacement for this turn is better, I think. Okay. Now is of course always risky, but at least by encircling them and not doing anything. Great, well, that means I'm just gonna have to do it this way. Like naturally that sucks, but There we go. I basically have to hope that they don't have a bunker out there, but I wouldn't know. The hope is that they can't see anything there. That's basically what I'm after. Okay. Yeah, that's never good, of course. Neither is that. Yeah, run away. Well, just gonna repair them here, or attack them from here. Reason for that is that I think, at least for this turn, that I'm probably just gonna repair most of these before I move on. That is, like, why not? Yeah. It's just for the better, I think, here to make sure that no crazy stuff happens. Now let's just move you in here where they are. Oh, they are visible, huh? Okay. Well, all right, all right. Alright, I've dug my way into two of the trenches near Luga. I can probably surround these two, but one of the things that I probably need to do is bomb these and use the flum. So if I put the recon here and you here, both of these should be encircled. There we go. They might smash themselves into the Dicker Mocks, but I'm not too worried about that prospect. They go to 3, so they are the most potentially problematic. What are your odds of actually suppressing anything on them? Nothing. They don't even have a suppression chance. Ah, okay. Well, fine. That sucks, but Means that I'll do it like that and we'll see what they do. I think it's the ideal moment to see whether they have anti-aircraft, and they don't. Ooh, lucky. They get a lot less attack now. Oh, so the weaker they supposedly are in strength, the higher their bonus. Ah, wow, that makes this a lot weaker than I initially expected. So this event, I thought that it would stack over the course of a scenario, but if it just means that they have less HP and they get one attack for each HP that they are less, then again this is a bit misleading, because it says each point of lost strength, but they lost a lot more than 4 strength because I already had to replace them, leading you to think that it works differently. But let's take a look. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot else over on this side. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, that was expected. Alright, not a bad turn. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna end the video here, so I wanna thank you for watching. Do hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. See you then, and bye-bye.